Hello, today I'll be teaching you how to make a sesame crusted salmon with some spicy mayonnaise. Very simple recipe, you only need a few ingredients, it's very quick, and by the way, welcome, and hopefully this will give you a little extra idea of what you can do at home. All you need, salmon, green onion for some garnish, sesame, of course. Gonna use mayonnaise and some gochujang, also with some rice vinegar to make some nice spicy mayo. So with the salmon, you can buy it anywhere you like. I have actually specifically picked this part because it's giving me a nice piece. We're just going to use the back side of the salmon. The other side, we can use it, save it up for sushi or for other things along the line. Now, before I get into that, I'm actually going to work with some garnishes first. So I'm going to get myself some cold water. And with this green onion, we're going to make it into a little bit of curly onions. So going to cut it into about 2 to 3 inches long, roughly around this size. And then lengthwise, going to cut it very thin, like so. You can see, like that. So I'm going to finish cutting all of this, and then I'm going to put it in the cold water and let it sit there for a little bit. That way, when it absorbs some water, the green onion is going to turn and going to curl up and make it look very nice when we need them for garnishes later. So I'm going to put that aside. And the next thing we're going to work with is going to be the salmon. All right. So we get a piece of salmon. This one is a skin on, and also I still have the pin bone on. So if you can see, I'm going to run my finger this way, and you can see all the white spot all coming up. So what I need to do is use a tweezer, remove all the bones. So get a piece of paper towel, a little bit wet on the paper towel, pull them off. Now what I like to do is actually put my two finger on the pin bone, like so, and then put my tweezer on there. Tweezer holding the bone, my finger going to keep the meat intact. That way, the fish itself is not going to be damaged, and it's going to look much nicer, and it doesn't have the whole line. Sometimes you may see it in the grocery store where it have a whole line of meat chunk missing somehow. So once again, gonna run my finger through. You can't feel the bone anymore. That is how we like that. So removing the meat from the skin, we're gonna do it a little bit different. Now, using a knife, you want something a little bit skinnier because it will work a little bit nicer, and I'm hoping that you can see this on camera. There is, I'm going to cut from the middle, a little bit off center. If you can see the bone in the middle, I'm going to cut it through here. Then I'm going to turn my knife sideways and run it down the skin and removing that meat off the skin, just like this. Practice will help, so that will make your salmon look a lot nicer. So this part I'm going to keep for later use. I'm not going to touch that for now. With that, I'm going to move on to the next step. Very simple. Want to keep the salmon, keep a little bit of that fat on there, look very nice. I noticed this side there's some bones on this side, so it's not very pleasant to eat. So I'm just going to trim that side off like this, and we'll be keeping that for maybe a little salmon tartare in the future. And make sure I scrape off all of whatever impurity or scales or skin like that is left on the fish. That way it would be perfect. Now, on my tray what I need. So I'm going to need some sesame seeds. Good amount of sesame seeds that I can coat the fish. And then I'm going to have some fresh ground pepper right in there. This will give a lot of flavor and give it a great scent. Put that aside. Give it a little shake, mix. Going to roll the salmon all around, so have a nice crust on the outside. And at this time, I'm going to turn on my pan. Do a nice hot pan. A little bit of oil, let it heat up. You will need a pair of tongs so you can give it a nice sear on each side of the salmon. Alright, so just give it a second there. At the meantime, while we wait for the pan to heat up a little bit, I'm just going to measure out the sauces that we're going to make. You need 2 tablespoons. It's going to be an equal amount, roughly equal amount of mayonnaise. So I'm going to give 1.5, and then 1.5. Okay. Then also with the vinegar, I'm going to do 1 tablespoon. Alright, I can smell the oil now. Going to turn down the heat a little bit. Don't want to be burning anything from there. And I can also hear the sizzling. Maybe you can hear that from here too. Put that on the pan. You can hear that little sizzle. We're just going to give each side a little bit of a cooking, so you can count maybe about 20 seconds on each side because we don't need the thing cooked fully. And I'm going to get a rack underneath a tray so I can take this off after. Alright, so I'm going to turn 90 degrees, sear one side. And I'm going to sear one side, turn 90 degrees again, going to sear another side. We've got one more side to go after this. You can see some smoke coming out, so I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit. And then on to the last. Alright. So you can see on this side here, you can see all the way around it got a nice sear on the outside. Now I'm just going to set this, let this cool down a little bit. This is actually a more of a cold dish, appetizer dish. So I'm going to set that aside for now. Going to finish mixing the sauce. You can see here all of the ingredients already measured. Going to mix it all well. This will give it a nice flavor. The gochujang is got a nice heat to it, so I really enjoy that personally. And the vinegar not only give it a nice sauce consistency for my spicy mayo, but also give it some extra flavor. So the sauce is ready, the salmon is ready, my garnish is basically ready. If you want it faster and give it a better curl, usually what would be better is if you have some ice water. So that would give it a faster curl as well. So with that said, we're going to get the fish going to pick a plate that will work best. So in here we've got a couple of plates that you can use for plating. You plate very differently in a way. So you've got a round, white, and a black. Black obviously is going to highlight that that fish really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the dressing on down first. Give it a nice spoonful like this. Then using the same spoon from one end to the other. And that will do. With the salmon, going to give it a nice slice, roughly about my finger thickness, so maybe about an inch or so. Going to give it a slice. Try to use from the heel of your knife all the way down and finish it all in one shot. Now with your hand kind of messy with the sesame seeds, you do want to try to keep your knife clean. At the same time your fingers clean, and you don't touch the top of the salmon when you are slicing. That way there's no sesame seeds touching the top of the salmon and keeping it nice and clean. Yes, it's a little bit more tedious when you have to wipe every slice, but this will definitely give you a better product, a finishing product as well. Now, I like plating with my hands, so I'm just going to set it out like this, kind of on a staggered. And then with the round plate, I'm going to finish plating the rest of the salmon. I'm going to finish slicing it as well. This salmon would go well, of course, by itself. It's very nice. Other way of doing it definitely is having it set up so you can have maybe a little small salad going with it. And for today, we're not doing a salad, but those are some options that you have for making your plate look beautiful. So here is the green onion. So for this round plate, what I would like to do is actually do a double of sauce on each one. Like so. And to finish the other one, it will look something like this. And to finish up, a little extra virgin olive oil on top. And here we go. That would be our sesame crusted salmon with spicy mayonnaise. Hope you enjoy, and yeah, we'll see you next time, and maybe we can try something new next time. Thank you.